Hey, we're doing another Mormon Truth video. Gonna be by Greg Trimble. GregTrimble.com. Book of Mormon Challenge. This was the number 3, but it's on some natural speed here. Well, maybe a few photos. Righty then, let's go. Okay, so this is the third segment of this review of GregTrimble.com. So you think the Book of Mormon is a fraud, and he's given his 10 arguments that are just pathetic, in my not very humble opinion, I guess. So anyway, we were looking at number 10, and we did kind of just lightly blow off a couple of them I just didn't want to bother with. But none of them prove that the Book of Mormon is true at all. I mean, but he saves that best for last. Do you feel good about it? That proves it. We all know that one. But we're on number 10, which means I have to click on this. Greg Trimble. Yeah, so we've gone over those. He has this marvelous epiphany. He knows the Book of Mormon's true as he's watching the waves there. And so we were on number 10, where he said the Book of Mormon has never shown any contradictions. And we went over a huge contradiction with the Book of Mormon versus other Joseph Smith revelations or translations, like the Book of Moses and D&C 107. The Lord, appears to them or lives with them, and then, Brother Jared, he tells Brother Jared, Ether 3, no one's ever seen him before. Long after these other things would have transpired. Okay, so how could the Book of Mormon never contradict itself? Greg, I would be so humiliated, I would just take down this webpage. I mean, I can't even imagine anybody making such an ignorant statement. How could the Book of Mormon never contradict itself while being an extremely complex book? After all these years, someone would have found something. But no. Hey, I guess I'm like the brother of Jared. Did I just discover the first contradictions of the Book of Mormon? I think if we went to, the Tanner site, we'd probably find, 50 of them, or Richard Packham's site or something. Maybe we will. But I want to show another site here where this guy's done some really good work. Yeah, your feelings. That's the important thing. And that's what they tell you on the Gospel Topic Exercise. They make everything seem like it's impossible for you to figure anything out, find your own. So just pray about it. It'll be like finding your keys, and you'll know the church is true. So let's check this site out, because it's useful. So I'll share it. Okay, Skeptics. AnnotableBible.com. Annotation, I can't even read it, it's too small. Anyway, so this guy, he does a great job. He uses the Book of Mormon and the Bible and the Quran, and he goes through them, and then he just highlights all kinds of stuff that's pretty useful, so that way you can click on plagiarisms, absurdities. He really likes mocking the "it came to pass" frequency. If you were inscribing something on metal plates, engraving it, I'm thinking writer's cramp is a pretty big deal. And you could write chapters with just "it came to pass" in the Book of Mormon. You'd think you'd find, some kind of, ancient emoji or something. You're doing hieroglyphs. Why do you have to write something that takes that long? Oh, that's right, it's so compact. Let's not even get into that. Here's a good one. The Book of Mormon. So supposedly they brag about how he did this in, 65 days, and some of these renditions, of course, I guess they count the days he was actually working on it or something. Well, I've seen 90 days, I thought, in the pamphlet there. Well, if it was 90 days, so he's doing 4 pages a day or something like that, right? 9 times 4, that's 360 pages. It's got 500 pages. So what's wrong with my math here? 5 pages, is that what it'd be? 9 times 5, 45, 450. So if it's 5 pages a day, he should have been able to do the Book of Abraham in a day and a half, but it takes him 7 years before he publishes it. And he doesn't ever come up with the writings of Joseph that he said were there in the same papyrus that the Book of Abraham was. So, yeah, what, did he, like, lose his Urim and Thummim? His seer stone that he used after Brother Jared talks about hiding up the magic glasses in Ether chapter 3 at the end there, so that he could translate the Book of Mormon in the latter days, but then he doesn't use it. No, he uses his magic stone that he's been using for seeking for treasure. The church basically denied, that Joseph Smith basically denied in his own history and Pearl Great Price. He says, that old treasure digging stuff, that just came because I was digging for Josiah Stoll. Yeah, the guy came 150 miles just to try to hire him so he could dig. He couldn't find anybody else who would dig. He just fired his previous seer, so he got Joseph Smith over there. And so Joseph Smith is leading the expedition as far as the seer goes, all the way to like 150 miles away from Palmyra. And he's boarding with Isaac Hale's family. That's how he meets his wife. And there's tons of history about him involved with the treasure seeking and doing incantations to appease the demons guarding the treasures and stuff. Even his mom says they practice magic, in the manuscript for her book. And he tries to deny it. So we've got church denying their history from the very beginning. So anyway, this thing this guy sees some things I hadn't seen, and I see some things he hadn't seen, and I don't agree with everything he says, and he does use a couple of cuss words occasionally, so I can't give it my full recommendation for people seeking to see what's up with the Book of Mormon, but maybe we'll go somewhere on this, and yeah, he notices some of the absurdities that are going on in the Book of Mormon. And contradictions. Maybe we'll have to use that. Yeah, let me take a quick time out here. Okay. This website's really good, just because it highlights stuff, and it's got the buttons, the contradictions button. I'm going to look at that, but, the story of in here with Nephi, are we like asleep when we read this? Are we in some kind of like hypnotic state where we're not allowed to think? I've thought about stuff, and then I've actually asked people some things, and that they've said, yeah, I actually looked at a map there, and I noticed it's like, 150, 250 miles away, depending on where you look at in terms of the beginnings of the Red Sea or tributaries from Jerusalem. I'm like, okay. So did you put that on the shelf with Zelf? So this story, I smote off his head with his own sword, so he puts on his clothes, yea, every whit. Like I said, that could get pretty disgusting. So, what? It's so bright at night, you can see that he had a sword of pure gold. Okay, he's already said that here, and the Lord convinces him how he should murder this guy who's helpless. Most precious steel. Yeah, he's into the steel. Well, I'm into it was made out of pure gold. I don't even think that would work too well. Isn't gold a little bit too soft, pure gold, to be used for a sword? Well, so he can plainly see that it's Laban. Okay, so then he gets dressed up in his clothes, and he goes and he speaks in the voice of Laban to his servant, and the servant can't tell it's him because he can speak in the voice of Laban. It's so bright out there that he can see that his sword's made of pure gold and steel, but the guy can't see his face. What does he have, like the knight in shining armor, full battle gear? Anyway, this guy's got these comments, and they're funny. Nephi obeys the spirit by grabbing Laban by the hair and chopping off his head. He did gird on his armor about my loins. I did. So, yeah, it says, while the blood gushed from the carotid artery, he girded on his... So somehow he miraculously doesn't have blood all over him. This guy doesn't bother to go into how did he not notice his face when he could tell it's Laban, So this guy says Laban always goes out with loin armor on when he's partying. It was pretty funny. Okay, Nephi chatted with Laban's servant for a while about the usual things. The wild party last night, gossip about the elders of the church. The Jews had churches back then. Yeah, that's another interesting one. In 1 Nephi chapter 13, is it, I talk about the great abominable church to the devil. So this is
600 BC, and they're talking about church. Church is never even written in the Old Testament. It's not a word then. This derived from an English or Scottish word, I think. I checked out the word and what the words in Hebrew were supposed to mean. Of course, somehow we got this into Egyptian. And it means those who came out is, I think, what it means, the word that's normally translated into church there. The book of, Ether, they're talking about Jesus Christ at the time of the Tower of Babel, so that's Greek. Greek, 2200 BC, modern Greek. Not Hellenistic Greek, not ancient Greek, modern Greek. And these guys coming up from the Tower of Babel, the day that they found the language or the month or whatever. What, did he just go and pick up some Greek real quick? Nephi's brother's named Timothy, that's Greek. So Jesus Christ, that's Greek. There's a bunch of Greek things in there. And then there's French. Brethren, a Jew, ending Jacob chapter 2. The whole thing is so incredibly ridiculous, this story. So somehow he fools the servant of Laban, and then they manage to kidnap him. It's unbelievable. Nephi's parents start having babies in the wilderness. He's their youngest son, and he's got to be at least 15 or 16. He's large in stature. He's big for his age, but he can wear big Laban's clothes. And then his parents start having babies again. After a 15 or 16 year break, they have 2 children in the wilderness. They travel for a few years. And then next thing you know, they're so old they're getting ready to die on the ship. And they die shortly thereafter. You almost throw their gray hairs into the water on the journey over. But he just had babies. It's plural. I talk about the mother. She just had babies. The dad could be older. Could have been a cradle robber. But, the mom's so old she's ready to die. Then they multiply so quickly that they can have wars and be building a temple. Solomon's temple, I say it took 160, 180, 150,000 people to build it, 6 years or something ridiculous. But Nephi's got about 20 people or 30, who knows, 40, half of them are children. Honey, we're going to war. Make a little less dinner in case we don't do well. I like this little commentary here. It says, Laban always wore his loin armor when he went out partying. Yeah, that's what he says in there. So he tells the servant of Laban that he's going out, that his brethren are outside the walls of Jerusalem. They're just hanging outside the walls at night, but their party got too wild, so they went outside, but they wanted to read scriptures. I mean, when you really try to think about, how did this really take place, it's mind-boggling to think that we actually just, we're in a trance when we read this or something. Dressed in Laban's blood-drenched clothes and loin armor, he goes to the treasury and totally fakes out the servant.
Subscribe on the Dodger Game channel to keep getting your Mormon Truth videos right when they come out. Just left the subscription. You can go into the channel and explore. There's over 100 videos there. Everything about LDS history, the hidden history, the changing doctrines, and the deception on LDS.org. I lay it out so you can figure it out and share it. Alrighty then. See you in the comments section hopefully too. Thanks. Have a great day.